Hey y'all, this is Father Jay here to introduce you to our stewardship campaign for 2020. The vestry and I decided that in the midst of all the confusion, it would be best for us to keep things simple. So our stewardship campaign is called BOSS, B-O-S, Basic Online Stewardship, because I'm going to provide a series of teachings that cover the basics of stewardship. And we're going to do everything online. We'll post these videos on our YouTube channel and on Facebook. And we are going to cover what it means to be a steward in God's kingdom. So to start it off, I just want you to remember this very simple idea. Stewardship is everything we do after we say, I believe. Once we choose to follow Jesus, then we place our lives in His hands, and everything we do after that is stewardship of the gift of life that God has given us. It is very simply our response to God's grace and mercy. We've talked often that worship is a response. Worship is something we give to God in response to the grace and mercy that God has given to us, that God alone in all of creation is worthy of our worship. And so that is a way we respond to Him. Well, it's not just worship that is our response. Stewardship, which means the care of, is our response to God. And so it infiltrates every aspect of our lives. We often think of stewardship simply as a financial thing, and in reality, it goes much broader than that. How do we steward our time? How do we steward our talents, the gifts and skills and experience we have? How do we steward our relationships? How do we steward the roles and responsibilities we have in life? How do we steward the influence which God has given us in the lives of other people? I'm standing in front of my bookcase because, as you know, I love to read. And reading is a passion of mine. It's a talent. It's a skill. It's something I'm very experienced in. And it's given me some knowledge that I then use to share with God's people. And that's stewardship. That is one of the essences of stewardship, to use who you are for the benefit of God's kingdom, to give of what God has given to you in order to benefit God's people. That is stewardship at its core. We're going to talk about what it means to be a steward of time, and what it means to be a steward of talent, and what it means to be a steward of treasure, the 3 T's of stewardship. And we'll look more about that as we go into these other videos. But I want to remind you that we're just going to cover the basics, not because I don't think you know them already, but because I want to remind you and give you a core message to hang on to in the midst of all the confusion and the craziness of 2020. Basic online stewardship. Stewardship is our response to God. It's everything we do with everything we have. That's the first message.